Like when you're feeling upset or not doing that great. Yeah, and I mean, again, it's not like discounting your feelings, but it's you know, the actions and things that you're doing to combat that. It's not like it just happens overnight, but we have to kind of change our behaviors and things if we have stuff that's happening that we're not exactly thinking is working. So it looks like if I pass, that only takes half of my icon away. So that might be another way to get a turnout. Wasn't sure how much that was actually going to do that guy. I should probably just have Surf use another ice attack though. Friends you can talk to when you need it, really lucky. Yeah, and I think that's just, you know, the big thing is finding out who those people are. And just being grateful that they're there to help you. Chased us this far, the Embryon. Here we go. Interesting. By using Surf's skill Void Ice, you can nullify an enemy's ice attacks. When their attacks are nullified, enemies will forfeit turn icons. Okay, so when their attacks are nullified, they forfeit turn icons. Your turn comes sooner. Hint, hint, they said. Anti-ice shield. Process to get better. Yeah, and I mean, there's so many different ways of self-care that there's, I don't know, it's really hard to say try this initially. There's some tried and true things, but you kind of have to figure out what types of things are helpful for you as well. One example, and I know this isn't really particular to like mental health that we're talking about in this sense, but sleep's a very important part to your mental health. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, you know, for sleep, there's different ways to get more sleep, which impacts your mental health. So, you know, cutting out the electronics like after X amount of time before bed, or, you know, listening to like soothing sounds, doing progressive muscle relaxation where you just like start from your toes and move up to your head, essentially, or as high as you can go, and just squeezing like that part of the body tight and then releasing. You know, those are 3 examples, and what I'm getting at is you could try all 3. Usually they tell you try one thing first, and then basically, you know, what worked for you and what didn't. And it's not like you try it once and you're like, nah, it's not for me. Sometimes you have to be a little patient. But I guess, I don't know, I'm kind of starting to ramble now, but essentially that's what it boils down to, is just, you know, try out different things for, you know, a couple weeks and try like 1-2 things max. And Pusa is frightened. Yeah, you're about to get eaten. I would be scared too. So basically, yeah, just try one thing, try it for a couple weeks, and if you really just don't feel like it's beneficial or you're not seeing much change, then, you know, look at the next thing that you can do. So yeah, muscle relaxation, if you look it up, basically you just, before you go to bed, or really anytime you're feeling stressed, you could use it. A lot of times people do it as like a relaxation technique. But like I said, you just start at your toes and just like kind of flex them or squeeze them like in and hold it for like 3-5 seconds usually, just really tight, and then slowly release. And then you would work your way up, so like the next muscle would be your calf muscle in your leg. So you'd kind of like squeeze those tight, and it's kind of activating like that mindfulness, like in the moment grounding technique too, so that you're really focusing on your body part instead of whatever else is maybe causing you stress or worry. So if you're interested, yeah, you could probably do a search for it, and sometimes they guide you through it, and sometimes they'll just, you know, you'll have articles or things that you can read too. So there's a step down there. I'm gonna check what's down here first, because it seemed like that next part was the natural story development. But it doesn't seem like we can really... Yeah, we can't really progress too far right now, so I should have known better. This game's pretty chill. I feel like this is one I could maybe get into a little bit more off stream, but we'll see about the developments. I do like how, you know, the combat system at least is pretty tactical so far. I'm sure it'll get, like, increasingly more difficult from what I've heard. But we'll see. A familiar presence can be felt beyond the door. They give you enough warnings about that. Having a set sleep schedule is very important. Yes, it is. Trying to listen to your body, sleep rhythm. Every body has a set time when sleep is ideal. Yeah, and I mean, you can change your sleep-wake cycle, but you want to try to be as consistent as you can. So, I mean, I've done my share of bad sleep habits, and I still to this day have some habits I'd like to improve. But one thing you can do is just be consistent instead of like staying up late, like 3 hours later on the weekends or something like that. You know, try and keep it within an hour as much as you can. Don't try to stray too far from an hour past your normal bedtime. That's easier said than done, because like we were just talking about, everyone's sleep schedule is a little different. And if you have like anxiety or thoughts that keep you up at night, then it's really not that easy to just simplify it that way. So I thought that this guy had went the other door. That's why I wanted to scope these out first. But yeah, like I said, I think if you got some good friends, then they're there for you. And I think the best thing you can really do as far as like your own mental health needs go is just making sure that you ask permission of the other people. So if you're looking to get some help or advice from someone, definitely start by saying, hey, I'm feeling pretty heavy, or you can name like, I'm feeling pretty sad. Do you have time, or are you in the right mindset for me to share this with you? Instead of just going on to people and just dumping things, it's always important to ask. Because like you've probably heard so many different places, I thought he just got an extra level up there, but like you've heard so many other places, it's like we are all fighting our own battles, so you can't just assume that someone's always ready at that moment to take something on, because it's very possible that they could have their own, you know, stuff they're trying to sort out as well at the moment. So I think, you know, just being mindful about asking that and being thoughtful and conscious about other people's feelings as well is important, and that's going to create lasting friendships and, you know, be able to all right, well, I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but so I don't know, that's just the one thing. That's how you make lasting friendships, is that you asking if someone's doing all right, or if they have the time to listen to you. Not the time's not the thing. It's really like their own state. Just asking that, I think, alone in itself you're going to get a lot more respect from other people and willingness to help you out. When I want to talk about problems, it's not always easy to be there for others and to listen. It's not, because I think a lot of times I think people believe they should have like answers for people or suggestions. And anything you know about people is that have their problems is a lot of times they're just looking for some advice or perspective on things. So just for you talking to someone, you're gonna feel better. And then if you're the listener, just know like, oh, it sounds like you're really having a hard time, or just, validate what they're saying. Like, that sounds really tough. I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Like, you don't have to have an answer if someone's dumping a problem on you. A lot of times it's just there to listen. My girlfriend tells me that all the time. She's like, I don't need you to solve my problems. I just need you to listen. Learn Devour and Hell Thrust. The thrusting of hell is upon us. So let's see what we can do with that. Hunt? I don't really know what these things do quite yet. Boofoo. I like that word. That's kind of fun. I gotta preserve some MP though. Alright, those guys really don't have much HP at all. Always want to help make things better. I'm really disappointed when you can't. Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of times we internalize that, and when people are asking for help, you're not there to solve people's like personal like problems and tell them exactly what to do. You're there to lend an ear and let them know that they'll get through it, and that you're there to help them with whatever that might be, and you don't have to have an answer for that. Because like, if you're bringing a problem to me right now, I might have a suggestion, but I don't know if that's going to actually be realistic to make happen. This is probably an absurd kind of point that I'm trying to make here, but like, if my solution is, it sounds like you're not getting enough exercise, just go knock out like 50 push-ups right now. But your physical fitness level, if you can only do like 10 push-ups max, and I'm telling you to do 50, well, that's not going to help you. And then you're just going to become more disappointed when you can't knock out those 50 push-ups. I was kind of curious to see too if they kind of go into a defensive position here if I pass. Didn't appear that way though. I can see how you can get wrecked in this game because this small enemy was able to do 2 turns in a row. So if you don't have those defenses set, they're just going to get into this loop cycle of complete annihilation against you. I suppose I should maybe... I kind of want to keep that strength going, but I think magic maybe would be good to mix up. So, I mean, the next time someone comes to you with something and you're kind of starting to internalize like, oh, I'm not helping this person enough, just be pretty proud of yourself just for being able to listen with your full ears and really just kind of know that you're there in the moment for the person, whether you have the answers or not. Being there is the most important thing. Bum bum. Dun 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 dun. Right on, that's just it. So, and part of it is just where you're at, like, in the moment, too. And I mean, like, I should say, like, more kind of where you're at with, like, your personal growth and things, because the way I would probably take on like problems or conflicts when I was, you know, even 5 years ago is going to be very different than how I'd probably take them on right now. So I don't know, it's just the continuing learning journey, and a lot of that does come from experience. Something is pressing from the other side. Do 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 do. Trying to remember which way I went here. Oh, not this guy again. Got a little frostbite, it looks like. So we're getting the general feel for the combat system, but I can definitely see, like I said before, how the difficulty could spike pretty quickly. Let's see if we can sneak attack this guy from this side. So I wonder if there's another door on that side. Oh no, that's just where we came from, I believe. I thought it was the guy like pushing against the door. But we had raised a barrier, so that was the true thing. That was blocking our entry. I think if I'm, you know, getting this correct, we kind of did a loop around. All right, that a baby. Hopefully we're on the right track here. It looks like this is unexplored territory, which is good. I gotta utilize this map a little bit more too. Little bit of dungeon crawling. Still running for his life. So can you remind me? I can't recall if you told me if it's Cyril or Surreal or how you pronounce your name, but I do want to make sure I get it right. And that's also something I've kind of gotten better at over the years, is I always felt like it was really disrespectful to ask someone like, hey, can you repeat your name? Or I didn't quite catch that. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. I think there's a charge station right there, so I will use that. Bam. It's probably... Oh, he is weak. Oh yeah, he's weak to anything. I think we could probably just physically attack him to finish him off, I would think. Maybe not. Ooh. Oh, it's random. Never mind. Okay, that didn't really do much. Surreal, that's what most do. Yeah, I'm asking you, though, so if that's not how it's supposed to be, then that's your time for you to correct me. You know, my name sometimes gets mispronounced, and I kind of just like shrug it off, but that's, you know, each person's personality, but it always matters. Your name always matters. So it's not how other people call you, it's what you want to be defined as. Easiest version to explain, sure. I don't know. I kind of like to play games sequentially, so like from the release, but I think the original SMT game was on the Super Famicom, and I don't know, I would like to kind of know more about the story before I would just full on launch into a series and be lost completely. That would be like, I feel like telling someone to just go right into Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know if I assume the story gets pretty complex and connected, but for me, like jumping right into Kingdom Hearts 3, for me to tell someone that, would really get them lost quickly. I really feel like you kind of need to play all the games before 3, and that's why I actually never finished 3, was because I didn't know half the stuff that was happening by the time I got like midway through Kingdom Hearts 3, because I never played any of like the PSP released games like Birth by Sleep, any of that. So I'm definitely interested, but I thought this would be a good way to at least get like a foot in the door of the series, even though it's not through like the main, you know, SMT games. Ice Blast. Are there weapons and stuff I can equip? Use an item, load ammo, or view your special items. We have not even gotten into ammo or anything like that yet. I should maybe give remove bullet and loaded charge shot. I feel like I should give her some of this stuff because she doesn't really have as much physical attack, and I have no idea how this is supposed to, you know, play into things, but don't have combos yet. Mantra. Let's... Alright, we don't know much about that yet. We just got to be patient and let the game explain this stuff as it comes. It's not really holding my hand, but it is just telling me like the key types of things to know. Never thought about the pronunciation, so I really don't know myself. That kind of makes it interesting and a bit more personal, because everybody has their own version. Yeah, I mean, like for me it's SuavePsych, but originally it was Suave. But that was a whole nother, you know, reason for me. I should say there was a whole nother reason for me when I first started streaming having some of those things. Light damage. I think I should pass. Oh, you're just gonna keep them coming, huh? You might have to think about that then. What you would like your name to kind of mean or represent. And the best part about an online presence though is that a lot of times it's not your real name, so it's not as maybe personal. But if you're really, you know, digging your username or something, or there's more of a meaning to it, we might as well just keep people fresh here. If there's more of a meaning to it, then you definitely do want to get it right. But like for me, SuavePsych is just an alias essentially. Like I'm interested in those things, but originally I was called Rico Suave, so I kind of kept that part of it. And then the other part is just having an interest in some, you know,